Discovering you, rewiring the brain, rebuilding confidence, and harmonizing with nature. With over 4 decades of changing lives, your self-discovery archaeologist, get ready to be the best of you with your host, Beverly Zeimet.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Beverly Zeimet Show, where being the best you has just gotten easier. My guest today, calling in from Maryland, is Rosalie Tawembe. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. How are you, Mrs. Beverly?
Well, you know what? She's doing awesome today. How about yourself?
No, I can't complain. I thank God.
Well, you shouldn't complain. Here you got
Wonderful.
the Aurora Borealis floating around you. That's good energy.
Exactly.
So, Rosalie, what is it that you do? Share with the audience what it is that you do.
Oh, what am I doing? I'm just, I'm a nurse,
Okay.
and also I have a passion with this customized product, customized vitamin, and I'm so excited. Why am I excited? Because the way I feel taking them. Yes.
Yeah,
Not only,
it's
yeah.
working with the DNA, right?
Yes, the DNA company, the
Yeah.
DNA, yes.
You know, it's interesting when we talk about DNA because, it used to be everybody was like trying to hide their DNA, right? And then all of a sudden
Oh,
it got exciting. It's like, oh yeah, let me find out what my nationality is and all that stuff, and all of a sudden it's not quite so secretive being your DNA. And,
exactly.
but again, you got those extremes where you got people one over here that are like, nobody's getting my DNA. And then over here it's like, who cares? They already got it anyway, so that's the
Oh,
difference, right?
I share my DNA with everybody. I'm so excited. I didn't even know that they can do a DNA and find out your genetic problem. I didn't know. So when I fall on this, I was like, oh my God. Yeah. So I
Yeah.
was excited when I saw the result of my DNA. And the result was like everything happening with my mom's side and my father's side. I saw everything on my DNA, and then I was like, wow.
Right.
The side, yes.
Yeah. Well, when they do, after you're, exited out of your physical little avatar here, right? And they do
Yeah,
autopsies, they use like your DNA to discover some of the things, what was wrong? What avenue do we look at? So when they dissect you apart, they're seeing things that are relevant to the DNA, and I think it's kind of cool when you can understand your DNA ahead of time as to what can
exactly.
you do to prevent, and how you alter your DNA alters the DNA of your genetic strand, whether it's your parents, your siblings, or your children,
Exactly.
right? And I noticed when I work in the emotional field, the mental and the emotional aspects of things, when
Yeah.
you begin shifting old baggage and traumas that have been handed down from generations, and that healing process takes place in that energy avenue, the DNA itself actually changes.
Oh, wow.
So there's so many things that impact your DNA.
Exactly.
You know,
Yes.
so so hey, you know what? It only makes sense that if you're testing your DNA for nutrition or testing DNA to find out, are you, maybe prone in this avenue, maybe with heart issues or with sugar issues or, with joint issues or whatever the case may be, you now can work and be ahead of the game so that you don't end up uh, getting it, shall we say, right? So
Yes,
prevention is the
yes.
best medicine.
Yes. They say prevention is better than cure. And then
Yeah.
you just say something like after your DNA, when you start taking your customized vitamin, and those vitamins can impact your DNA. That's this so true, because several years ago, I could before I go to bed, I have to take like a sleeping tablet before I can sleep. And the day I said, no, it's too much. I don't want to take it all night long. I'm going to be rolling
Right.
on that bed, yes, until they're done. Now I sleep like a baby. Also, I have a chronic rheumatism before, and my father have rheumatism. So when I did my swab, what I was researching in that DNA, I was like, if they don't show that rheumatism in my report, it
Right.
mean it mean this is not true. And then I'm coming also for the background where my mom have a cancer of uterus. So I was like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. But guess what? It show on my DNA. It show, and then I cry like for a week. And then thank God I have Rob by my side. So when I call Rob, I say, Rob, do you know that the gene for the cancer is positive and everything? And Rob said, but this is why they're doing this DNA, Rosalie, so that you can see it ahead of the time, and then you start prevent. That's why you
That's
should be
right.
taking your vitamin every blessed day.
Right.
If you don't want the cancer, guess what? Make sure you take your vitamin, Rosalie. Stop crying. And since then, I say, no, 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 no. I have to
Right.
be taking my vitamin before everything.
Well, you know,
Yes.
and Rosalie too, that goes back into where your mindset is and where your belief structures are and your fears, right? And I think 2020 has really opened up a world of fears that people never had before, you know.
Exactly.
And when you look at, you know, all the illnesses and stuff that have been happening over the last few decades, I mean, they're putting names on things that we never ever even dreamt of, you know. And
Yes,
so
yes.
what is going on? What is going on? And when you look at when you look at the food that's available in all the fast food stuff, you
Oh
look at
my
all
God,
the
tell me about
boxed
it,
foods and the
Beverly.
canned stuff,
Yes.
you know, it's like there is no nutritional value, you
Value.
know. And the body needs these pieces and parts, right?
Exactly. And to add something on what you just said, if you go like 10 years behind or 20 years behind, the apple we have 20 years ago is not the same apple today.
No.
It does not carry the same nutrient. No.
No. I grew up a farm on a farm in the Midwest.
Okay.
And we had our own orchards, we had our own chickens, we did our own beef, we did our own pork, we did our whatever. We hunted, you know. And
Oh, wow.
the arena back then was so different than now. And when you tasted an apple fresh off your tree, no spraying
Yeah,
done or anything, completely different. You know, so you look at the different decades and how apples have changed. You know, along
exactly.
with everything else. We had a big garden. There was 11 of us, so mom always had a big garden, right? You know, and we had fresh vegetables and everything, and we did our own, you know, home canning and stuff, you know, to keep that for the winter's time, right?
Exactly.
And I can remember when I left and I graduated and I left home, and after having grown your own meat, you know, and stuff, you know, and now it was like out of a store.
With no preservative.
It was like, oh, this don't taste the same. I'm totally vegan now, okay? Right? I
Oh,
have been for
wow.
a lot of years.
Oh,
But
my God.
it's interesting how you say, and again, when growing up on a farm and understanding the farming, where
Exactly.
the ground, you know, certain plants put minerals and things into the ground where others take it out, and so you do that altering. Well, you have big corporations now doing all the farming, and so what do? They have to spray, you know, put this on and put that on, and then you have
Exactly.
pesticides, you know, so it's the planet isn't able to replenish itself like it used to.
Exactly.
And it's like, wow. And how do we get this? How do we get the minerals that are so necessary for the body? How do we get the vitamins? And minerals and vitamins are not the same thing. A lot of people think that they're the same thing. They're not.
They're not.
Right?
They're not.
Minerals
Vitamin
come out of the
minerals.
Yeah, they come out of the dirt, and out of the fermentation and what's going on in the ground, where your vitamins are coming from the sun and the air and the sky and all of that kind of stuff, right? So it's and so when you look at the human body is what? It's a part of the vibration and the energy of everything out here, including dirt. What does it say? That the body was from dust you came, to dust you shall return. Well, that's dirt, right? So yeah, you're dirt.
When I think about it, I'm like, oh my God, maybe I should stop taking care of this body because this is dirt, right?
No, you got to keep this dirt going because this dirt has life, right? And
it's alive in that dirt, yes.
So this avatar that you're running around, this little skin bag avatar, can only perform in what you feed it. And whether you're feeding it nutrition or garbage, whether you're feeding it fear thoughts or love thoughts, all of that plays a role. That's why it's called mind, body, and spirit, right?
Yeah.
So your
and
mind,
that's why,
yeah.
Yes, that's why they say you are the result of what you eat.
That's right.
What gets in your mouth, you are the result of that.
Exactly. And what's in your, what your mind feeds the brain is the computer of the skin bag. So what you feed this brain through the mind's, it's like, yeah. So food comes in many forms, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
So Rosalie,
Yes.
have you been in the U.S. or you came from France, right? How long you been over here?
14 years now, getting to 15 years. Yes.
Okay.
I came from Africa. Cameroon.
Africa.
Yes.
Okay. And you have a French background.
Yes, French background. Yes.
Okay. I knew there was French in there somewhere. I love your accent. It's just enough that just like, ooh, it's just like, it's calming.
Oh,
right?
really?
Yeah, it really is. It's just like, oh, just that little accent and frequency is like, oh, so peaceful. So it tells me that she comes from a peaceful heart. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you.
And watching your background, with the Aurora Borealis floating around back there is that peacefulness, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah. So do you do meditation? Are you into meditation at all, or?
Meditation, no. But
Okay.
I'm a Christian. My background, I'm a Christian. I go to church.
Okay, so you do a lot with prayer, right?
Prayer, yes, I do prayer.
So prayer is just another word for meditation, because when someone goes into prayer, they're into deep centeredness, right?
Exactly.
And that's pretty much what it all is, right? And a lot of people think meditation has to be this om. Oh my gosh, it couldn't be farther from that. It's when you daydream. Daydream is a form of meditation or a form of prayer activity. It's just moving you out of the consciousness of what's around you, and taking you into an arena of, it's just I gotta take a breath. When you're dreaming at night, right, same thing. So anything that takes you out of
your body,
the crazy consciousness of the world, right? So and when we can recognize that, we begin to recognize, what we do to really bring peace and calmness to the mind and the body and the spirit. is to walk around in those elevated energies, because life is energies, right?
Exactly.
And we need that energy. And when you look at nutrition is an energy. It resonates.
Exactly.
Every mineral, every vitamin resonates at a certain frequency.
Exactly.
And when that frequency is in unison, then the physical vessel is kind of complete. When
Exactly.
things start to run amok, why does depression set in? Why do anxiety set in? Because there's an imbalance somewhere. And it
Somewhere.
starts with your thought processing that
Yes.
increases that, right? And
The positive and negative energy.
yeah, and so when you look at the different foods, different when you begin to put the nutrition into the body that's needed, it's going to start balancing out anxieties and different fears and different upsets, different dysfunctions that happen. So as a nurse, how long you been a nurse?
Oh, about 12 years.
12 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you coming from that avenue, you see a lot of things happening, a lot of, probably dysfunctional things happening with patients, when they show up,
Yeah.
in the hospitals and stuff. And
Exactly.
and knowing now what you know on the nutritional aspect of it, does the two mesh? Can you like say, wow, if they only knew, right?
Yes. Yes. I always ask myself question. Even when I go to the store to buy like food,
Mm-hmm.
when I see people choice, I'm like, oh my God, why are they choosing to buy canned tomato when they have the fresh one over here?
Right.
Why do they choose to do this? Why they have this one over here? So everything is it start with our mind, our mentality. We have to change the
Yeah.
way we're doing stuff because if you have two people right here and this person over here uh, is eating all the fresh stuff, and this person over here, all what he can eat is all the cane. No, those two
Right.
people, health wise, they are different.
Well, when you look at the cart, and this isn't judgment. This is actually factual, right? It's not a judgment call here. Everyone has a
No,
choice of what they want to consume,
they want.
and you don't
Yeah,
you don't know what you don't know until you know it, right? And that's
exactly.
and that's through education. But even education and knowing everything, if you don't put it into action, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
So
matter.
when you look at a grocery cart and what's there, and then you look at the one who's pushing that cart, you can see why and how things have created the dysfunction that's going on because again of what is being taken inward. And you
Exactly.
said the example, where here it's all boxed and canned and anything that's artificial, just snacking sugar stuff. There's so much sugar out there, it's crazy. And then you look at someone who has the fresh vegetables maybe, and whatever, and the different elements, and you'll notice too the
Yeah,
size of the volume what's in the cart, because
exactly.
when the body is starved for nutrition, it craves something to fill up the space. So what do? We just shove more stuff in trying to get full. When the body says, I'm not hungry for that stuff, I'm hungry for nutrition. And the value of nutrition is not in all those sugared foods, but we crave the
Exactly.
sugars as the addiction to suppress what the body is saying, I need nutrition,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
Right? And so, how do we balance that? It takes discipline and it takes knowingness, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And then Beverly, knowing that all all the food we have out there, the real nutrition fact of it is no more in those foods. So do you agree that people have to supplement their nutrition? Like
in
taking
in
supplement?
today in today's world, yeah. I mean, we have organic, right? And organic is good, but is organic still filled with the nutrients and everything? No. The difference between growing organic and growing just regular has a lot more to do with the pesticides that aren't put on it, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that the ground is actually full of nutrition. It's not. And again, there's different fertilizations. So again, putting into the ground by shifting plants, or some put in and some take out to replace that, to balance that ground, is necessary. That doesn't always happen, even in organic planting. And magnesium was one of the hardest things to get into the ground, and that's needed where? Up here in your brain. That's food for your brain and for your clarity and for your focus, right? So when you understand what these are necessary for and how that functions in your physical vessel, how do you get that in there? Now, is you walk into a vitamin store, or you just walk into the vitamin aisle of any store, and oh my gosh, you're inundated. There's like, I mean, seriously, how many different types of bottle of vitamin C is there? Probably 100.
We have different brown, different type of vitamin C, different brown. You end up get confused which brand to go with, which one is what. You confuse, you stop. You don't.
Well, it's not even so much the brand as it is what is the form. Your body is going to assimilate a certain form of that vitamin, of that mineral, in its capacity. Not just because it says vitamin C doesn't necessarily going to actually assimilate. And another thing, when you look at fillers and binders and coatings, oh my gosh, if your body doesn't have the enzyme activity needed to break those tablets or capsules apart, it's in one end and out the other. Just right through. And you can, if you look at, the porta potty businesses, right? They have piles and piles and piles of pills of, not just vitamins, but pills that are medical pills and stuff, right? And just any kind of pill form, and they got stacks of them. What does that tell you? Your body can't break it apart. And again, when you're out of balance here, your liver and your gallbladder are not sending into the stomach the enzyme activity needed to break it down. And what do? Oh my gosh, this is the craziest thing. We have burger, fries, and a carbonated drink. All right? Oh my gosh. Yes. Carbonation with food. Carbonation with food stops digestion in its tracks. If you're going to drink a carbonated drink, you do not drink it when you eat.
Exactly.
Right? Because it stops that carbonation. So when you think about it, as a child, if you had an upset stomach and you didn't feel good or whatever, what did your mom give you? She gave you ginger ale or 7-Up, right?
Exactly.
A carbonated drink to do what? Take out the acid upset. You need acid to break the food down.
To break the food down.
You need salt to break the food down. Right? And you need the amylase, the protease, and the lipase. Anything that says ASE on your enzymes is what's needed to break those foods down if your body's not producing it. Now, if you've had your gallbladder taken out, hello, now you're really missing enzymes, okay? So enzymes are a key element of the body as well for creating its functionality, because your food doesn't break apart. It takes 72 hours to digest meat. 72 hours.
Yeah, to digest meat.
Digest meat. So if you don't have the enzyme activity, what happens? It stays in there, and this isn't going to sound good, but it stays in there and it just rots. It becomes roadkill within your intestinal tract, and then it sticks to the side of your colon, of your intestinal tract, right? And it builds up. And then it overspills, and now you have fat cells and all this stuff, and it causes this inflammation. It's crazy when you really understand what's going on. The average person has between 40 and 55 pounds of fecal matter residing in that large intestinal tract area that is just there taking up space. When you can work with enzymes in between your meals, it begins to break down the old stuff that's there, creating the expansion. And because what happens is you end up with diverticulosis, or you end up with leaky gut, because you don't have that flow. You have all that debris that's still there. And it's causing acidic activity that weakens the gut lining, and it just leads to all kinds of problems. So again, it's more than just taking nutrition. It's understanding how, the enzymes are critical.
Yeah, Beverly, as you take the sample of the meat, when we eat meat, it takes like 72 hours to digest in our system.
Yeah.
So
that's a long time. That's a long
time. That's a long time. And this come again at what I say, we are the result of what we eat.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so when you eat meat, if you're going to be a meat eater, which is fine, right? That's choice. It's okay. I'm not against a meat. It's just do it for breakfast or do it for lunch, because most people eat late, and you definitely don't want meat after 6 o'clock, because now the body is shifting into repair mode because it's slowing down for sleep time.
Exactly.
Right? And if you're eating something that takes activity for digestion of heavy things, now you don't get that restful sleep, you don't get that repair that needs to happen during sleep time. All of these things make a difference in how the body systems work.
Exactly.
Right? Do we have that education? Not so much.
Right? No, not at all. Not at all.
Right.
So what do you said about because I used to be very, very confused when I go like to the pharmacy.
Mm-hmm.
I know, because all the women will tell you, oh, I have kids, and then I need calcium, I need this, I need that. You see, like from Africa where I come from, most women, no, they take calcium every day. But right now, when I did my DNA, and then I noticed that no, we don't have to be taking calcium every day. You are not sure if you have too much calcium in your body or you have less calcium in your body until your DNA tells you what is missing in your DNA. So what do you said about this, I don't want to call it one size fit all vitamin, but that is, I don't know, maybe you can find a name for that, but it's one size fit all vitamin, because in those vitamins, they are in those pharmacies. Everybody just get in and then just buy, right?
Well, right, and people
just buy.
And people buy by the price. They buy by the price, not by what's going on, because they don't understand the coating. The coating is critical, right? And it's usually a oil-based coating, and that's one of the things that the body has more problems breaking down. Right? And then you have all these fillers and the binders to hold that little bit of vitamin in there, or mineral content that is in there. It's a very small amount. If you can get your nutrition in a liquid form, if you're buying it off the shelf, right, it will absorb more into the body. But again, if your colon is full, right, you're not going to get the absorption, because every section, there's like every inch, and we have how many miles, hundreds of miles of intestinal tract. Each inch section is
Yeah.
acid, alkaline, acid, alkaline, acid, alkaline. And different parts of that are what break your food down to take out whatever nutrient that is, right? And if your colon is blocked, it's going to get lost in that decay in there versus going in and getting into the blood system and where it needs to go. Now you talked about calcium. When your system runs alkaline, you're less likely to lose calcium, because what happens when your body is in an acid state, it has to go grab the calcium from your bones, your hair, your teeth, right?
Exactly.
And then what happens? It's removing. It doesn't really grab the calcium. It actually grabs the salt, and the salt is what binds the calcium,
Yeah.
right? And so now
Yeah.
you got loose calcium floating around, and that will stick on the sides of your colon as well, which then attaches to undigested food, which just makes it even worse.
Mm.
So when you say lack of calcium, it's not the calcium that you're lacking, it's your ability to maintain the calcium that
To
your
maintain the
body
calcium.
produces, which is the salt. Now, I'm not saying go out there and
Exactly.
douse yourself with salt, that's not true. But again, absorbing water, we need to absorb water, and to make water wetter, so to speak, for that absorption. If you take a little bit of like Himalayan salt or just a sea salt, just a
Yeah.
pinch in your water, makes the water more absorbable into every cell. If you squeeze lemon in your water,
Yeah.
it does that because it makes water wetter. Okay,
Exactly.
so that it can absorb. And we look at our water supply today. Holy camole! You talk about food having problems. Water has even greater problems.
Have a problem too.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's a wonder we're still alive.
So Beverly, oh my God, I love this. Let me ask you this. It's very, very funny, right? Because looking at you are white and then I'm black.
Uh-huh.
So how can you explain that me and you we use the same skincare? Is that possible? It makes sense. For me, it makes no sense.
I would say no. And I think it's not even the color, it's the texture of how
The
your
texture,
skin has
right?
performed, right?
Exactly.
Is it dry? Is it oily? What's the densities of it? What's your ability to absorb? And hey, you just got a darker tan than I did. It's like sometimes you get a little jealous of that. It'd be kind of nice to have a good tan.
Yeah. But when we get in the beauty store, the same product you grab, I grab it too.
Yeah, and that's not always true to par, right? In some pieces and parts of it, yeah, right? And again, your skin is your biggest detoxing organ of your body.
Your skin,
So
yes.
again, we go back into what we feed here, and what we feed here are going to make what your skin looks like.
Exactly.
Right? That's a product of, right? And so you look at time periods. You look at how many years have you spent on the planet, right? And
Yes.
where is your mindset with that? I've been 45 for a very, very long time. Earth says I'm 71. I say, not so much. I'm 45, okay? And again, and I've lived 45 for a very long time.
I like that.
And so my body functions and runs like a 45-year-old.
Exactly.
And because that to me was the perfect time in my life. Everything in my life for me was exactly where I wanted it to be. So why wouldn't I want to stay 45?
Exactly, because you want
Right?
to. That's
Right?
me. That's me.
Yeah.
I'm 40. I don't want to move from 40. I'm 40.
Okay.
So, Beverly, tell me, how if through your DNA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I know the technology right now, we are at the level where with the technology right now, they through your DNA, they can study the type of skin you have,
Oh yeah.
and then they customize your skincare just for you.
Right.
So how do you feel if you have a skincare with your name on it? Oh my God.
Oh, I know. You pick up a little bottle that says, "Oh, made for you." Oh,
Yes.
how nice is that? Right? It kind of makes you
Yes.
feel a little special, right? You know,
Oh
and
yeah.
again, you know, because when you're having, you know, a nutrition made for, you know, designed for you around your DNA, you know, there's a lot of similarities. I mean, we all come from the same source. We're just pieced
Yeah.
together a little bit different, right? But at the same time, so there's certain elements of nutrition that are all the same no matter what. Right? You need 91 minerals and you need, I think it's 16 amino acids, and I can't remember the vitamins. Can't remember what the number of the vitamins were. I think it was 20 something. And then you've got your antioxidants and stuff. Everyone needs that, and your omegas. That's a given no matter what. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's the volume again. So now it's the percentage of all of those things. So your DNA, if it says, hey, you know what? You're prone to, because it says, right? We're
Yeah.
going to up this arena so that it brings things into balance. And that's what it's all about. It's about bringing things into balance. So when you're looking at it from the perspective of nutrition, well,
Yeah.
what is your skin? Your skin needs that nutrition as well. And so
Exactly.
now you're working from the inside out or from the
Exactly.
outside in, you know,
Exactly.
right? And so all your toxins are coming out of your skin. Okay, great. Maybe I need to like feed it a little more on the outside so it, you know, it stays fresh and better, and right? And again,
beautiful.
that's right. You know, so what are the chemicals that you're putting on your face that are causing it to break down? Right?
Exactly.
So why not put something on your face or the rest of your body that's going to build it up instead of break it down? Because you can only go one of two ways. You can either go that way or that way.
Oh, another way. Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it. That's it. You know,
There is no other way around it.
yeah, the duality,
Yes.
the world of duality is interesting. So every aspect of life has a duality. If not this, then what? It's that.
It's gonna be this one.
Right?
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And then do you agree, Beverly? Do you agree that out there, men and women spend a lot of money on weight loss program?
Oh my
And guess what? When I say a lot of
gosh.
money, $1,000 for maybe for 2 months, for $600, $300, and then they don't lose no pound.
Yeah,
How can we explain that?
well, I look at it from several different positions, kind of everything that we talked about, right? First, number one thing is your body is not absorbing what it needs, right? So
Yes.
because it's so toxic. So we've got to remove the toxins. And you know what? When you look at this diet thing, right? Okay.
Yes.
When people come to me and ask me about their health and whatever, you know, and it's like, I need to lose all this weight. I've been on all these diets. I says, well, think for a moment. What are the first three letters in the word diet?
Diet.
The first three letters are what? What's that word? Yeah, that word is die. Right?
Die.
So the subconscious message is, if you diet, you're going to die. And what do people feel when they're on a diet? They feel like they're being starved. You know, everybody says, you got to eat less, you're eating too much. No, you're not. Again, it goes back into you're not putting the proper food in here
Yeah.
to make this, right, functionable. So it's not about starving yourself. It's not about, you know, going on this diet. It's about starting to really understand and recognize where your mindset is on that. when you put a lot of weight on, a lot of it has to do, because there's addiction behind this, has to do with low self-esteem. It's an emotional, mental thing. You're putting space in between you and it, whatever that trauma it is. You're trying to protect yourself from getting hurt. Right? And so when you start changing and shifting the mindset and the food that you feed this crazy brain that goes in your subconscious on autopilot, that shifts. And then when you work on detoxing, detox the emotional, mental brain, detox the physical body. Because when you do it up here first, the physical vessel will follow. Then when, it doesn't matter how much nutrition you take. If you're not moving out what's in the way, you're not going to absorb it. And it doesn't matter whether it's a designer nutrition or something you just grabbed off the shelf.
Yeah.
It all works in unison. So move the toxins out of the body, out of the mind. Connect all the avenues of who you are. Because you are three parts. You're a conscious, a subconscious, and a higher consciousness, right? You have your mammalian and your reptilian and your frontal cortex. That's all your knowing stuff, right?
Exactly.
So why do they say mind, body, spirit? Well, it starts with the mind in your thought, what you feed the brain. The brain interprets it, sends it out to your cells, makes it a truth, because this is your database form. And if you don't change the old database, it's going to keep playing, because it will rule. That subconscious is your boss. And if you want to become, control, in charge of your subconscious, then you better teach, know how to do that. And this is some of the stuff that I teach, working together with that. When you can really understand the workings of the power that God has given us in balancing and harmonizing with it, my gosh, things change very fast.
Yes. And I noticed that you can put even two people on the same diet, and they, I don't know, they live in the same house, the same diet, and one will be losing weight and another one will not lose no weight. The other one will increase weight. Yeah.
And it has a lot to do with the metabolism, right? And again, it's the mindset. It starts up here. It really starts up here. You have you have to make that conscious choice that, hey, I'm doing this. Stick with it, because it takes a lot of discipline. A lot of discipline, right? And you know what? And this isn't fair. Men lose weight 10 times faster than women, right?
And women, yes.
What the heck is with that? Well, let's go back in civilization, right? The woman needs to protect the unborn child. So therefore, she puts padding in certain avenues, and this goes back into caveman days, right? And that was what was needed for warmth and protection.
Exactly.
Okay? Now, that's in the DNA. You talk about the DNA. That is a belief structure in the DNA.
In the DNA.
Right? And
so what do you said about this new technology? About the DNA concerning the weight loss? Because right now, with the new technology, you can do your DNA and they customize your vitamin to lose weight just for you. Right. So
right. And it's also, I think there's a form of customization as well, as far as that detoxing that we talked about, right?
Yes.
So when you start detoxing your body, the pounds and the old stuff that's stuck in your colon, in that large intestine, has an opportunity to start to move out. Right? And when you start moving more of that out, it starts balancing. So if you understand what, and you can look it up, just Google it. What are the areas of the colon? What do they take care of? Each little section will tell you, this one is for the liver, this one's for the heart, this one's for the lungs, this is for the blood, this is for, right?
Yes.
And so if there's a block in any of that little section, Houston's got a problem, right? So,
Wow.
take responsibility for who you are and how you feed what you know.
Exactly.
And it really is simple. But is it easy? Oh, heck no. Heck no. But it takes discipline and understanding, and it takes action.
Exactly.
Action, right? That's the key. Action. And you have to want to make the conscious choice that, hey, now is my time to step up to the plate. So when you're talking about the DNA and working in that avenue, and I know you're really strong on that, and coming from the nurse's background, it's great because you see that, and you can, and now knowing what you know that you didn't know before, it's
Oh,
hard.
yeah.
It's hard to not talk about it. It's hard not to share, and
Exactly.
then let the individual make their own choice, because bottom line
Yeah.
is we all have the choice of what
Oh, yeah.
we feed ourselves,
Oh, what do you want to be?
or what you want to be.
Beverly, I feel like I'm committing a crime if I don't share what I know.
Well, that's true, and again, it's not just about sharing what you know. It's walking that talk. It's walk the talk, right?
Exactly.
You can talk the talk all day long. I mean, it's like seriously, you have someone that's sitting behind a table at a vendor show, right? And they're selling this diet pill, right? And they're 300 pounds, right? And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay, tell me what you got. And they do, right? And
Yeah.
it's like, well, how long have you been on this? Now, if they've only been on it a short time, yeah, okay. If they've been on it 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, whatever, it's like, what difference have you noticed? Now, maybe they were 400 pounds to start with. Who knows, right?
Exactly.
And if they're honest, they'll tell you, well, I haven't really noticed a whole lot of difference, but these are some of the things I've noticed, whatever. And again, it's, if you're not a product of the product, are people going to really believe you? That's walking that talk regardless of what it is.
Exactly.
Regardless of what it is. Right?
Yeah.
And that's putting what you know, putting your knowledge into action.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. You
So-
experience it and then you share it with others.
Exactly.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Rosalie, if people want to get a hold of you, how can they reach you?
Or they can reach me my email. They can reach me through my email.
Okay?
I don't care. I don't care. Also give you my phone number. They can reach me at 301-628-6052. That's my cell phone.
Okay?
And my email is pretty simple. Rosalie Tawembe1 at gmail.com.
Okay, so go ahead and spell that out.
Rose, ROSALIE TAWEMBE 1 at gmail.com.
Okay. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
put it down here, up there, somewhere, so you guys have that. And you know what? Listen to the show. You're listening to the show. Just reach out to her,
Yes.
and she'll be available. If you can't reach her, yeah, reach me. I'm all over the place, right? And
Oh,
we'll make
yes.
sure that
Oh, yes.
and that
Oh,
you
yes.
get to her, right?
Yes.
So
So I'm so happy we share this on this show today. Because I know with the technology is advancing and a lot of people don't know what is happening in the world.
right.
So the little one we know, we want to share with you guys, and hey, so that we can take advantage of taking care of our body. Yeah, as Beverly said, the product of the product. Yes, I am.
Right.
I am. I can play with my customized vitamin. I can play with my my weight loss supplement because I try everything. And then at the end, I noticed that, oh, those product was not working for me because it was not designed for me.
Right.
But now I have something designed for me. And hey, here I go. And then very soon, customized skincare.
There
Oh
you
my-
go. I know.
Love it. I'm going to remain 40 for You say you remain 45 for a long time.
Very
I'm
long time, right?
going to remain
Do the
40
math,
for
right?
a very, 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 very long time.
Right.
Yes, because when I even tell my age to people, they say, "Are you kidding? You sure, Rosalie?" Yes, I'm 40-year-old.
You know what? It's how you act, you know. And I never grew up. You know, I'm
Yes.
just shy of 5 feet, 4'11 3/4, right? And I've had people say, Beverly, when are you going to grow up? I said, never, because if I grow up, I have to act like you guys, and I ain't going to act that way. No way!
I have a lot of people, Beverly. A lot of people gave me like 32. Oh, you are in your late 20s. I said, what? Late 20? And some people say, oh, you 32, you 35. When they say you 32, I'm like, yeah. When they say you 37, I say, yeah. Nobody ever guessed my age.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Well, that's good.
They always give me less than 40.
That's
Less than
always
40.
good.
And somebody who want to try to be a little bit close. Oh, you are in your late 30s. I'm like, yeah.
I know. When I was in my 30s, I was still getting carded for liquor. I was like, okay.
Yes. Guys, trust me, when you take care of your body, you are going to remain young forever.
Well,
Trust
you know,
me.
when you take care of your mind,
Your mind?
it even helps more. They work
Exactly.
together.
Exactly.
Together, right? Together.
Mhm.
Oh,
And
Rosalie.
this is why they say positive thinking and negative thinking, right? Because
Well,
when you keep
it's more
thinking
than it's
negative,
yeah. It's more than
it bring you
just
down too, right?
right. It's more than just the negative positive thinking. It's
Yeah.
the thought processing and your belief system. It
Okay.
boils down into that belief this system, right? You know, and because if you don't, I mean, you can have all the positive thoughts and sayings as you want, but if you don't believe it, it's not going to happen. Again, that's part of that walking the talk. Make your brain walk the talk of belief and changing the belief from the old database into the new database. You know, there's ways of doing that, and there's different techniques that can happen, and they can happen really fast. So if anybody wants to know how to do it in 60 seconds or less, you better reach out because I'll teach you how to do that. So,
Yes, and people always think that other people have to believe in you. No, everything starts with you. You have to believe in you,
that's right.
right?
That's
You have to
right.
believe in you.
It doesn't matter what other people think about you, but it sure as heck matters what you think about you.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Rosalie, we could talk like forever on this stuff.
I
you
know.
So I want to just say thank you. It's been an honor having you on the show, and we'll have
Thank
to
you so much.
see what we can do to bring you back. So I hope all of you enjoyed this show today. Comment below, reach out to Rosalie. We'll have her stats here so that you can reach out to her. And thank you again so much for being here.
Thank you. You guys have a nice, happy holiday with all the family. And hey, Happy New Year as well. I know 2021 will be a best year ever.
That's right. It's
So,
time to rock the
we
world.
have to move into 2021, all of us with healthy mind, healthy body, and with joy. Why not?
That's right. That's right. So go out there and be the best you that you can be, because Rosalie and I are going to be the best we that we can be. And we'll see you
yeah.
all on the next
Yes,
show.
be a better you. Thank you.